Over the last 3 years, I've spent thousands of dollars creating AI videos in all the different AI video platforms. But I'm gonna save you the time and money of having to go and test all of these tools out for yourself and share with you what I think are the best AI video generators. The first AI video generator we're talking about is Google Veo 3. What's special is its ability to generate AI sounds, specifically character dialogue.
These times are hard, my love, with little to eat and the sickness spreading.
But we have each other, and our strength will see us through.
And what Veo 3 specializes in is text to video, where all we have to do is enter a text prompt and the AI creates a video for us. There's two super popular video types in Google Veo 3. The first one is the man on the street interview, where you have someone holding up a microphone and interviewing another character, for example. And we can do this in all sorts of different settings. For example, in the text prompt, I'm gonna say a man on the street interview inside a medieval castle. A peasant reporter interviews a knight wearing dirty, damaged armor about what life is like living under siege fighting against the French. Then we can roughly describe the environment that they're in. There's a battle going on in the background. By the way, if you're going to use Google Veo 3, make sure you actually select the newest quality model. Otherwise, it'll default to using one of the older Veo 2 models. Now, if we go ahead and run this, it'll generate a complete interview video for us.
Sir Knight, what's it like living under siege, fighting the French?
It's relentless. We hold the line, but every day is a struggle for survival.
The other super popular format in Google Veo 3 is the AI vlogs, where it recreates an influencer vlogging about their life. And what's fun about this is people have been putting them in all sorts of different situations and with all sorts of different characters. So the first thing we'll need to do is describe the character, a young man with red hair, brown eyes. He shows himself in a medieval training ground with other knights. Make sure you're adding this part that says selfie camera angle shot from an extended arm. That's what's going to create the vlogging effect.
We are preparing for battle. The training is intense, but we will be ready for king and country.
When you put a bunch of them together, you can create an entire story vlog. You can also create talking AI characters in Google Veo 3 using reference images of your own characters now. So inside Veo 3, we'll go to frames to video to upload a reference image of our own characters. I've already got a couple uploaded here, so I'll choose this one of a Yeti wearing a yellow t-shirt. And then inside the prompt, I'll directly tell the AI to make a talking video of him. So let's go with a vlog of a Yeti, and he talks about life as a Yeti. If we run this prompt, it should create a talking dialogue scene with the character we uploaded.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Yeti, back with another vlog from my snowy forest home.
So if you have multiple reference images of the same consistent character, you can generate a complete vlog of the same exact character using the frames to video feature.
What's up my dudes? It's an awesome day for snowboarding. The powder is fresh and the sun is shining. Let's shred some yar.
Another thing to note is that Veo 3 is fairly expensive, at least relatively compared to the other platforms. It's $1 for an 8-second video. So Veo 3 is great at generating videos from text prompts, but what if you want to use a reference image? There are some really great options out there. One of them is Hailuo AI, which I think is the best image to video AI out there. Specifically, it's really good at following your instructions in the prompts. It also has a huge variety of camera movements we can add into the videos. So I'll put in this photo of a knight riding through the street in a parade. Then below, let's adding a prompt. A parade riding through the street, the knight raises his palm wearing a glove and suddenly stops moving. He takes his helmet off to reveal a scarred face wearing an eye patch. Now, when we go and generate the video, you'll want to make sure you have this newest Hailuo 02 model selected, which is the newest and the best. There's a few different settings that we can choose from. Lower resolution at 768p. And if you use that lower resolution, we can choose between a 6-second video or a 10-second video. Now, there's also a full HD 1080p resolution, but if we use the higher resolution setting, we can only generate a 6-second video. So for me, I like to generate the longer 10-second videos. It gives me a little more room to work with. Then let's go ahead and create this video down here. The main thing that stands out specifically about Hailuo is how well it follows your prompts. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected to happen. The guy looks pretty tough, but If you look at the details on the face, he has the eye patch, he has the scars on his face. Where I told the ogre to pick up the woman and put her so that she's sitting on his shoulder. Out of all the different platforms I tried, I think Hailuo created the best animation for this specifically. I mean, it's not perfect. If you look super closely at the woman's face, it does smooth out the details a little bit, but the animation quality is really good. We can also introduce tons of camera movements. In this case, I told the camera to fly to a bird's eye view to see him riding into the forest. One thing that's unique about Hailuo is that it has this director mode down here in the camera icon, which allows us to adding a bunch of pre-made camera movements into the videos that we generate. So if I have this image of a queen from behind, I can give it a prompt like the knights kneel on the ground in front of the queen. She looks around with a defined expression and takes off her tiara. But in the middle of my prompt, I can actually adding a camera movement for it to follow. So if we go ahead and select this director's mode, there's a bunch of different cool options for us right here. I think I'm going to go with this right circling movement. I want the camera to rotate around the character. Let's add that in there. And you'll see this new keywords called truck right, pan left, tracking shot that just describes a camera movement for it to follow. Because of all the different cool camera movements you have, and also how closely it follows the prompts, I think Hailuo 2 gives you the most control over the actual AI animation in the video itself. That's not to say it's perfect. Of course, if you try to generate a ton of movement, there are going to be some deformities. If you look at the hands between the servants and the princess, you'll see that there's a little bit of morphing. They kind of blend together. So there are still some pain points when it comes to AI video. Hailuo is kind of a bare bones AI video generator. So there's not a ton of other features in it besides the actual AI animation itself. Now, it is relatively cheaper compared to the other platforms we'll talk about. For the highest quality plan, it's going to cost about 83 cents for a 6-second video at Full HD. Or if you use a lower resolution at 768p, it'll be around 52 cents for a 10-second video. So Hailuo is great at creating videos from images, but it doesn't have much else going on. Is there another platform that is also great at doing that, but has more additional features we can use? If you want more variety in the features that are available, for example, adding lip sync and dialogue to the characters, Kling AI is a pretty good option out there. What really stands out about Kling is the quality of the details in the videos you get. The character animations are super lifelike. The detail preservation and consistency is also really strong, especially when it comes to image to video. Just like in Hailuo, we'll upload a reference image of the character we want to generate, and below that we'll add in the prompt that describes what should happen inside the video. Now, Kling AI also does have sound generation, which means if we create a video, it'll also add sounds to it. Now, the sounds aren't gonna be as good as in Google Veo 3, I found. For a lot of these, it just sounds like some kind of weird static background noise or some wind blowing in the background. So I wouldn't count on using the AI sound generation too much with these videos. As far as how good it is at following the prompt, it's not quite as good as Hailuo. If you try to create a lot of movement like I tried to add into this video, you see both of them deform quite a lot. And it also changes the woman to like a 3D game engine style. Versus if we compare it to the video created in Hailuo, the Hailuo video has higher quality, the animation is more consistent, the characters also don't deform and disfigure like we see in the Kling video. But to be fair, this is a super complicated movement. For most things you'll want to animate, Kling works super well. Unlike Google Veo 3, Kling is not able to generate character dialogue. Here's a video where I try to create two characters talking to each other and listen to what happens. As far as I know, that's not actual human language. So it'll just create characters talking gibberish if you try to make them talk to each other. The good news is that there is a lip sync feature that lets you adding your own dialogue to the shots. So if you have a video of a character, in this case I have one of the princess just relaxing on an afternoon. Underneath, there's this lip sync button, which will let us, adding our own audio, make the character speak. It brings up this option for us to adding the character dialogue. Now, you can enter text to speech, where Kling will generate the audio for you. So let's try this. Hello, how are you? Let's try a female voice.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, that sounds kind of like a child for some reason. So I'm actually going to upload my own local audio, which I've created already. Let's get that in there. Now let's go ahead and generate this.
If only time could pause in moments like these. No courtiers, no counsel, just the breeze, the scent of lavender.
If you look carefully at the lips, it's not super realistic. A lot of the times the lips only move a little bit, but it is a cool tool to have inside the video generator. Kling also does give you the ability to add lip sync with videos that have multiple characters inside. In this video, I have two characters, the queen and the king, and I have them looking towards each other. So if we go to the lip sync button, inside it actually has detected both characters. We have one for the queen and also one for the king, and we can actually add lip sync for each one of them separately. So specifically, if I want to add lip sync for the queen herself, I need to select this character. You'll see her selected down here. If I selected the king character, which is character 2, you'll see it say character number 2 in the timeline. But let's go back to the queen. From here, we can upload a local audio file. Let's add that to the timeline. Now, as far as I can tell, you can't actually create a video that has both characters speaking inside. You need to create the lip sync for each character separately and then combine them together in a video editor. So let's first generate the lip sync for the queen, and then we'll do the king after that. Here's what it sounds like when I created it just for the queen.
Do you think they'll remember us kindly, or merely as names carved into stone?
Using that same exact method, I also generated a lip sync video for just the king by himself.
That depends on what we leave behind.
Now, what we'll have to do is combine both of these together in a video editor. So this is pretty simple. All we have to do is stack the two videos on top of each other. So I have this video, which is a lip sync with just the king, this video beneath, which is a lip sync of the queen. And what we need to do is actually crop the top video so that it just shows the king's dialogue. So we'll need to use the video masking. That's adding a mask. And then drag this mask over just the portion of the video that has the king inside. So that way we'll be able to see both the queen and the king talking to each other. Now let's go ahead and take a look.
Do you think they'll remember us kindly, or merely as names carved into stone?
That depends on what we leave behind.
Okay, it looks like she whispers something to him at the end there. Again, the quality of the lip sync, not amazing. She just moves her lips a little bit there. It kind of looks robotic. But anyways, if you wanted to create multiple characters talking to each other, this is how you could do it inside Kling. Kling is one of the more expensive AI video generators, especially if we use the newest Kling 2.1 master model, which is going to give the highest quality. It's going to cost about $1 for a 5-second full HD resolution video, or $2 for a 10-second video every time you generate it. So it's up there in terms of the cost. I think the quality is exceptional. It has some pretty cool features in it, and if you're serious about AI filmmaking or making really high quality videos, Kling is a good option for you to check out. So far, we've seen how the different AI video platforms are good at different things. Google Veo is great at creating videos from text prompts, while a platform like Kling is much better suited for generating videos from reference images. But it is pretty inconvenient when you have to keep switching between the different AI video generators, depending on what you need. Is it possible to get access to the best features of all the platforms at the same time? There's aggregator platforms which give you access to all the different popular AI video generators all inside one tool. I'm showing one called OpenArt, and we have access to the newest Kling models, Pixverse, which is another AI video generator, Hailuo, the Google Veil models. So depending on exactly what type of video you need to generate, you can pick and choose between the different AI videos available here. I want to try out this new Seedance model that was just recently released and has been showing some really good potential with its high quality AI videos. I'm going to be using image to video. Let's make sure I have Seedance selected. Then I'll upload the image I want to animate and putting the prompt again describing the princess holding the flowers. So there is an option to automatically add in AI sounds. Let's go with the highest quality models just to see what we get. And we'll go ahead and create this. So I think the AI sound generated is basically background music. So you won't really hear sounds from her moving around or anything like that. Seedance is pretty good. It gives you the super high quality of detail that you get using the newest Kling AI model. And at the same time, it's also decent at following the prompts. Overall, it's pretty solid, but if you look super closely, right here where the castle is collapsing, the tower kind of just vanishes into the ground. While you would probably actually expect this to fall apart into a bunch of little rocks and bricks and rubble, it kind of just sinks into the earth. So when it comes to like the physics and stuff, it's not as accurate. Some of the videos it generates also have a little bit of weird quirkiness to the emotions. Here, the way that she's pumping her hands up and down, we wouldn't actually expect anyone to move like that in a real movie or in real life. So I also generate that same video using the newest Kling 2.1 model. For one, it follows her prompt more closely. You see her taking her fist and slamming it down. And the shouting emotion and the anger that she's showing is much more realistic compared to the weird fist pumping motion that was inside Seedance. It's also not quite as good as following the instructions you give it in the prompts. So for this video, I asked for the camera to fly to a bird's eye view above the rider to follow him riding through the forest. And you can see that the angle of the camera doesn't change. It's below him and slightly tilts up for the entire video. If I run the same exact video and prompt inside Hailuo, you'll see that it follows my instructions way more closely. The camera flies above and tilts down to watch the rider as he rides into the forest. So I wouldn't really recommend this Seedance model, even though it seems to be kind of popular right now. From what I've seen in the majority of character animations, it's not as good as Kling or Hailuo, even though it costs about the same. While Seedance can create some really high quality and detailed videos, it doesn't necessarily excel at any particular thing compared to the other best AI video models out there. Next up is Midjourney's AI video generator. Midjourney has been one of the most powerful AI image generators. Finally, they've also released their own AI video model. I'm just on their homepage and you can see the huge variety of different visual styles, whether it's a more retro, old school style of video. Here's another example of what looks like to be an animated oil painting with these bright, bold colors. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but it's kind of a cute little style. Midjourney's video generator is a little unique in that it only has image to video, which means it can't take only text prompts. You have to create a reference image first. Luckily for us, Midjourney is probably the best image generator out there, so it's very easy to get high quality reference images. To create a reference image, I'll first use this prompt bar to describe the photo I'm looking for. In this case, I'm going with a close-up photo of a king sitting on a throne in a cinematic medieval film shot on still film with muted colors. Midjourney really excels at high-quality photorealistic images. Now, if we hover over the images, there's this Animate button we can hit, which will immediately start turning our images into an AI video. It's one of the fastest compared to the other video platforms, and it'll generate 4 different variations of that video at the same time. So these are 5-second videos. The details look really sharp. The animation quality is good. But if we go and hover over one of them, we can actually extend the length by 4 seconds. So let's go ahead and try it with this one that's zooming in on his face a little bit. And I'm curious to see where it extends it in the next 4 seconds. What's really cool about this AI video is that you can extend it all the way up to a 21-second video, which is super long compared to the other platforms that's out there. Here's the video I generated of this character that extends all the way up to 17 seconds. Now, you'll notice that some of the movements are a little sudden. He looks like he's shifting around a little uncomfortably. That is a characteristic of the Midjourney AI video. Some of the movements are a little sudden. It feels like they move around a little bit too much sometimes. It does have to squeeze your entire prompt into a 5-second video, and so it does tend to animate a ton of motion very, very quickly sometimes. Now, you do have a little bit of control over how much animation is added in. If we click on one of these images, below in the Animate image section, there's a low motion and also a higher motion option. So let's take a look at both of these. I'll select both of them to create the videos with low and high motion, and we'll do a comparison between them. If we take a look at the lower motion videos, it looks like he picks up his sword. For some reason, they seem to transform into different looking swords in all of them. This one on the left looks probably the most normal, whereas the one on the right looks like he's picking up a microphone or something. So I'm not sure what that is. Now, let's take a look at the higher motion videos. Yeah, definitely a bit more jittery. His head is looking around some more. So there's a bit of a difference between the low and high motion settings, although I found that even when you use low motion animation, it still creates quite a bit of movement. Now, you can also manually enter your own prompts. So once again, let's go ahead and select an image. And underneath here in the Animate image section, there's this manual feature, which lets us use a prompt to add instructions to tell the AI video what character motions to animate. So let's go with a low motion animation. And then up here, we'll be able to enter a prompt. So let's go with the ogre picks up the woman so that she is sitting on his shoulder. Let's try that. So not bad at all. It looks like for most of these, he doesn't actually have her sitting on his shoulder. But like I said, even if you use a lower motion setting, it can still create some really, really dynamic animations. And these don't look bad at all. Especially this one in the top left right here. By the way, you are actually able to animate pictures of yourself as well. This was myself on vacation a while ago. There isn't actually a feature to do this. We'll have to use a workaround. So what we need to do is go to this Edit Image button. Let's hit that. And then from here, I'll actually upload a photo of myself. There's me on vacation again. What I'll actually need to do is using this eraser brush right here, actually select a tiny portion of the image that I'm going to erase and ink paint. Then what we'll do is use Midjourney to actually ink paint in this part of the image. Now, I know this seems very complicated, but basically what we have to do is use Midjourney to generate a tiny variation of our image, and then we'll be able to animate that variation of the image. So I've erased a small portion in the top corner of this photo right here. And inside the prompt, I tell it to generate a tiny variation for the part of the image that I erased. So let's just use a super, super simple prompt actually. Photo on vacation. Then we can submit this edit button. So if we go through these, we can see that the top corner area is going to be slightly different in all of them, although barely noticeable. And then we'll need to hit this upscale to gallery, which is actually going to put this image into the Midjourney database. Let's use that. And then if we go back to this Create tab, we can see our new photo being upscaled here. And once that's finished, we can simply animate it, just like any other photo generated inside Midjourney. And by doing that, I was able to animate photos of myself. You can obviously do this with photos of yourself or any other type of picture you have. Here's a same image animated using higher motion settings, and I do a 360 spin. Not sure I'd actually do that in real life, but I really do like Midjourney's video generator. The quality is good. I love the fact that you can extend these videos all the way up to 21 seconds. And it does have an unlimited plan where you can generate as many images and videos as you want without running out of credits. The next AI video platform is a little different. It's going to be specifically targeted towards AI avatars and creating lip sync. And that's Hedra AI, which I think is one of the best at adding expressive dialogue to your characters.
If only time could pause in moments like these. No courtiers, no counsel, just the breeze, the scent of lavender.
So inside Hedra, if we go to the videos option, we can adding an image of a character to animate. So let's go with that photo of a princess from before. And then we can add in an audio script with dialogue for the character to say. So if we hit this, let's actually generate the speech. There's a bunch of different voices up here that we can choose from. I found this one called Lily.
I have never been hurt by anything I didn't say.
That should work well for our princess. And then down here, we can put in a dialogue for them to say. I'll adding a couple lines that I want the AI character to say. And then if we generate this character, it'll actually lip sync the dialogue we added in to the headshot of the character to create a talking expressive character.
At last, a moment untouched by duty. The crown may weigh heavy, but here, with the sun on my skin and silence in the air, I feel almost human again.
The videos that you generate are a little bit wobbly. If you look around the head, it bobbles around a little bit. That is one issue you might run into with Hedra. But in terms of the expressiveness of the lip sync and all the different hand gestures and body motions, I do think it's one of the most impressive AI lip sync video generators out there. One of the most well-known AI video generators that we haven't talked about yet is Runway ML. Before diving into it, I do think Runway has absolutely the best marketing team, which is why they're so popular. Do the AI video generation capabilities match up with how well known they are? To be honest, not really. When it comes to the actual AI animations, I'd say Runway is one of the weaker ones compared to all the other platforms we talked about, whether that's Google Veil, Kling, Hailuo, Midjourney, Seedance. The animations just aren't that good. If we take a look at this one of the ogre picking up the woman, it looks like another character suddenly flies in out of nowhere. I'm not sure what's going on. He's just holding onto something in the air. Again, another character just suddenly elevates and floats into the air. For this video of the grieving female knight, the movements look okay, but I mean, if you compare it to the same exact video generated inside Kling, there's a huge difference in terms of the animation quality, the sharpness of the details that are preserved. Okay, so why did I include Runway in this list then? Well, for one, it's super popular. Everybody talks about it, even though I don't think the animation qualities are that high. But there are a few features inside Runway that I think are really promising and really cool. One of them is the Act 1 feature, where you can use a performance from an actor. In this case, I used an AI animated headshot of a man and drive the performance of another character inside a video. In this case, the king sitting on the throne. And what Runway does is detect the facial movements, the dialogue of the driving performance from the character and map it into our AI video, which I think is a super useful tool. Using this feature to make an AI actor is pretty easy. All we need to do is go to the Runway dashboard and find this Act 1 feature down at the bottom. Then inside we can add in a driving performance. This is going to be the video of our actor. So in this case, I actually used Hedra AI to generate a video of a voice actor. What I'll do is actually upload this AI video of a king that I generated inside Midjourney from earlier. And what Runway will do is actually map the AI actor's facial movements and dialogue onto this video of a king. And let's go ahead and generate it so you can see what it looks like.
When I was young, I believed the crown would make me powerful, that I would bend the world to my will with mere words and decrees. But power is not control. It is responsibility.
This is a really cool way where you could actually use a human actor and then turn them into an AI character. Another powerful feature inside Runway is their consistent character references feature, which lets you take reference photos of a character and put them inside its scene. So in this case, I have this photo of an orc and also this hooded character, and I put both of them together inside the same landscape. And this is a really powerful way to build an entire world from just a few reference images. So inside Runway, we've been generating videos, but I'm actually going to go through this image creation tab. And underneath, you'll see the references, which can be the individual photos of our characters. I'm going to go and adding a couple new characters. So I'll put in this picture of a queen, which I used earlier, and also this character image of a king. And in addition, I'll even adding a landscape photo of the environment I want to put them inside. So let's go ahead and drag that in there too. All right, so you can't, for some reason, see the entire body of the character, but I'll give them a name. So I'll call the female character Queen. I'll call the male character King. And I'll call this landscape Castle. And then to generate the image, I can simply refer to the character references. So at Queen and at King are walking through the at Castle. And what this should do is generate images of the Queen and King characters walking inside the castle landscape. Okay, so it actually doesn't look like it copied over our characters into the image correctly. If you look at the king right here, it looks like he's a white guy actually. But in the original character image I had, it was supposed to be a black character. So I have a theory for why this didn't work. It might be because if you look at these character reference images, it actually cuts off the top head of the character and also the bottom of his character. So maybe that's why it wasn't able to copy over the exact likeness. So I actually tested this theory out. This time I'm going with a wider image of my king character and also a wider image of my queen character so that it shows the entire body. So before I was using a narrow vertical image of my character. This time I'll actually expand the image a bit so it's using a wider square photo of the character. So that way inside the runway references, it looks like it can actually fit the entire character into the references box. Now when I generated those images, it gives me a much more accurate depiction of what these two characters would look like if they were walking through this environment. But once you've created these photos of our characters, we can use a video generator, just like before, to turn them into an AI video. Not bad, not too much motion in there, but like I said, Runway isn't really great when it comes to the actual AI animation part. Now, it does have a lot of cool features. For example, you can upscale the videos to 4K inside Runway, but overall, I probably wouldn't recommend this as the one you start out using. If you want to see all these different AI video generators put to the test when creating the same exact AI animation, go take a look at this video right here where I created the same animation in all the different AI video generation platforms.